So let's head down this manhole. This is something I've been wanting to talk about for a while now, given the current climate of the world, specifically the growing tensions between the United States and the Chinese Communist Party. So, my question is this: how has Lenovo not popped up on the public's radar as a security risk? Lenovo is a Chinese based company with concerningly deep roots throughout the United States. I know that many companies hand out Lenovo machines to employees to conduct work through, meaning massive amounts of juicy data is bussed through these devices all the time. From personal experience, a university I had attended equipped each and every workstation with Lenovo ThinkCenter. Before we get our tinfoil hats on, I want to clarify that I'll try to refrain from uh, speculating and reference only known security risks or exploits that have been seen in the past with other electronics. My biggest concern isn't so much with their ability to preload their machines with firmware that's able to monitor or control the computers. That's pretty easy to clear up once you buy the product. But I want to focus on their ability to incorporate hardware level tools within their devices. Lenovo and the CCP are able to control nearly every step of the manufacturing process for these systems. Just to list a couple of potential risks associated with this, they could potentially incorporate things such as USB controllers that are able to connect to network independently from the machine, or they could place monitoring chips directly downstream of RAM to collect data before it hits the storage. I believe this is certainly something to be concerned about because Lenovo is wholeheartedly a Chinese company. I know recently there was speculation about the company trying to move production outside of China. However, I just don't see that to be true in any way. Lu Shenji, the founder of Lenovo, is a well-known CCP compatriot. This is especially obvious when thinking back to a particular event in history that most certainly never happened. Lenovo's main competitor, Saitong, was closed down due to the CEO Wan Runan, the founder of Saitong, being a known student sympathizer. This move alone leaves Lenovo in a position of debt to the Communist Party. I felt I should briefly touch on the Superfish incident, which is basically adware Lenovo had to target to create targeted ads to users based on their use of the device outside of their browser. Users found that certain machines with Superfish installed were having chunks of their network sent without being encrypted. This issue, as far as we know, was resolved, and Superfish has been removed from newer models. These machines seem to be absolutely everywhere. In 2018, Lenovo accounted for 22.2% of the global laptop market and 14% of the combined desktop and laptop markets. The concern isn't entirely with how prominent these devices are, but how prominent they are in specific sectors. This includes education, legislation, data management, and research and development. That's right. Lenovo does have a line of server solutions for companies to make it easy to shovel all their sensitive data into one convenient location. By this point, it is well known that the CCP dabbles in corporate espionage here and there and will utilize their resources to the full extent to achieve their goals. Lenovo is no exception. When push comes to shove, I can almost guarantee, if not already, G will be knocking on their door asking for mandatory assistance. As well, espionage aside, there really isn't anything to say that if or when things go pear shaped between the US and the CCP, that Lenovo isn't forced to just brick each and every device outside of the party's allies. Another issue even deeper than just Lenovo, is the fact that nearly all of their products are equipped with Intel chips, just riddled with Management Engine. For those of you not in the know, Management Engine is basically a system on a chip that is embedded into Intel CPUs. And they claim it's used to run useful features such as, well, pretty much Intel made this all up. It's not really that useful for the end user. Their documentation states that the management engine loads at system initialization. However, that is not true because I shit you not, in the next paragraph they state that a fundamental feature is that engine is able to operate independently from the host machine's power state. What this means is that Intel has a small computer attached to your system that is able to send and receive data and run as long as the device is plugged into a battery or the wall. So I bring this up not just to talk about the concerns with Intel, but because this is a built in security vulnerability that could be exploited by the Chinese government to siphon data from user computers. If companies as small as System 76 are able to find workarounds to the closed source management engine, then a company as Lenovo most certainly can do the same. Just to cover my grounds, yes, real old Lenovo's do not have management engine, but let's be real. Do you really want to try and use a laptop from around 2008? I've seen people online talk about how loading Linux opposed to Windows would pretty much solve all of their security woes when it comes to these concerns. However, it's nearly impossible to circumvent these kinds of hardware level access kits without physically removing them from the computer or somehow locking down their functionality through firmware. Using Linux is a great way to avoid downloading and running external malware and avoiding the prying eyes of Big Man Bill. Unfortunately, it is not a fix all when it comes to perfecting IT security. Like many things, it's quite hard to find a perfect solution, especially when it comes to security risk mitigation. If you're trying to buy something new, some good options could be System 76, Framework, Purism, and Tuxedo. As well, there's always the normie options like Dell, HP, and Toshiba. If you're in the market for a used laptop, I would recommend checking out old Dells. They serve a similar industry clientele and can usually be found for a decent price. As well, if you're a fan of track points, then some of them are equipped with that as well. These are just some of the choices I've seen online and have no real experience with any of these products in person. So just take that recommendation with a grain of salt. Note, I purposely left out Apple because though they do quite a good job at preventing many external companies from obtaining their users' data, they are not known from resisting their own temptations and looking into their users' data. As well, without the ability to run Windows and the applications associated with that, I feel this would not be a good corporate replacement. So, for the sake of you and your loved ones, I ask you reconsider the next time you go to purchase one of these questionably secure devices, and I recommend looking for other options that won't correlate to the demise of a nation. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to hear more, leave a like and sub. I'd love to hear your opinions on this matter in the comments below, whether you believe these concerns to be based or total tinfoil wrapped garbage. Bye.